Right, so I've streamed live now. I
Okay.
think we should be live on YouTube. I hope your friends and all are watching you, Arga, today.
A few of them, yes, I've told them
Right,
about the session. So,
right. So my books are getting used in Jadavpur University.
yes, sir, quite a lot, in fact. Quite a
Every
lot. Quite
good,
popular.
good to hear that.
Really
So
good as well.
yeah, I think we are live now.
Okay.
We are visible on YouTube also. So
Okay.
this is oops, I should not have shown you that question. The question will come up in a minute. So
Okay.
so tell me, Arga, what is your background and all?
Sir, done my 10th from Don Bosco School, and my 12th from TPS, and I'm presently doing chemical engineering from Jadavpur University. I'm in my final year,
Okay.
and this is my first attempt as well.
Okay, first attempt at CAT.
Yes, sir.
And you're taking tests and all already?
Yes, sir. I'm regularly taking tests on Unacademy, the second
Okay.
ones as well as the full and form.
So
So,
how much are you scoring?
sir, the scores are somewhere in the range of 140, 150 now.
Okay. So I think what will be important for you is to actually push it up by another 20, 30 marks in the next 2 months, right? So you
That
can
is the
ask me
plan.
that. So if you are ready for the question, here's a
Okay.
question, and I'll give you a 2 minute timeline for doing this.
Okay.
Right. So it's a past CAT question I've picked up. Maybe you are familiar with this. Uh, Let me just set my timer here. I think it should be doable in around two minutes. If you can't do it in 2 minutes, I'll give you a 30-second extension after
Okay.
that. Right. So this is the first episode for all those of you watching. This is the first episode of the Dare to Challenge, and other people can also come in and talk to me through this. And the format of the event is basically that one guest from me from will be selected by the Unacademy team, and they will come into this show, and it'll be a challenge from my side. One question, 2.5 minutes, whether you can do it or not. So it kind of simulates the pressure, and of course all those of you watching can also look at it. And the other aspect of it is going to be that I mean, once we finish, of course, I'll try to explain the question to you if you need an explanation. But otherwise, we'll also do a small chit chat about your queries, any single query, that major query you've got about cat prep, etc. You can ask me. Right. So ready, Aage?
Yes,
Uh,
sir.
Chalo, all the best. I hope you've got your pen paper ready. You'll need a pen for this. This is not
Yes,
an
sir.
oral
Yes,
question.
that.
Right. So this is the question for you. Can you see it?
Not yet, sir.
It will come.
Okay.
1 second. Yeah. So you can see the question.
Yes, sir. It's visible.
Yeah. So all the best. One minute is up.
Yes, sir.
So 2 minutes done. Another 30-second extension.
Option C.
Option C, you're getting 3.
Yes, sir.
Okay, let's check that. So you got it in around 2 minutes 20 seconds. So I'll stop this screen share, and I will go into the into a whiteboard here. Back to being a teacher. That's most comfortable with people like me. So so if you see the question, it starts actually by telling you that f0y. I think on YouTube you can see the question and this thing. So I'll not write the question fully. So I'm just sharing the screen of Zoom and the question here. So in this question, if you see, the first thing you should notice in a question like this is that the question is asking for a value in terms of an absolute value of f12. That's what it is asking us to create. While when you talk about f12, whether it's 2, 3, or 4 or can't be determined, if you look at the structure of the function, there are 3 sub functions inside fxy, and fxy is getting determined depending on whether the number, or whether x is 0 or y is 0, or what. So if you look through the first function, it is telling you f0y is y plus 1. So basically what we realize is that the only function of the 3 that gives you a value as an outcome is the first one. And for the first one, the first argument, this is a 2 argument function, the first argument has to be 0. So we have to reach that point. So when I look at the question, what is the value of f12? तो f12 जब मैं देख रहा हूँ तो I have to try to realize that this is the third function, because neither the first form of the function operates when we are talking about x being 0. The second one operates, fx plus 1 comma 0 operates when y is 0, and in f12 the third form of the function operates, which means that I should realize that in this case x plus 1 is 1 and y plus 1 is 1. So if I transform this to the right side, my first reaction to this question will be of course this reaction starts at the 30-second point. 30-40 seconds is a fair time to read this. So the reaction to f12 will be f0 comma f1, because x plus 1 will be 1, and fy would also be 1. So our focus now this function is of the form 0 comma this. So if I can transform this into a value, I'll be able to come out to a value. So my focus now shifts to identifying a value for f11. So in this case again, x plus 1 is 1 and y plus 1 is 1. So the next step obviously is going to be that I'm again going fx. So the first argument, I'm now looking at this. So whatever outcome I get out of this, I have to fit into this part of the equation. So when I go f11 and I use this formula fx comma fx plus 1 comma y, x will be 0 here again. And the second part, which is the outputting a function again, this is fx plus 1 comma y, and fx plus 1 in this case is going to be 1 and y is going to be 0. So this now it's a function inside a function. To get this value, to get the value of f12 I need this value, to get the value of f11 I now need this value. So again go back and now focus on a valuation for f10. So it's building a chain for me. and each of these steps is maybe 30 seconds, 25-30 seconds each, if you do it efficiently. So f10 will again become f0. In this case, x is 0 and y is also, I mean, the second argument is 0. So the function,
So the second function
this
of
obviously this is the second function.
yes.
So this will give me fx, which is x is 0, so 0 and comma 1. And this comes into the first function.
Yes.
So this value is 2. So this fits in here. So f11 becomes f02.
Yes.
So f11 becomes 3, and you have to do it one more time. This goes inside this. So 0, 3, and that would give you an answer of 4. So I think you missed that last step, under pressure, right?
Yes.
So ये होता है, time pressure जब हो जाता है एग्जाम में, तो it becomes an issue with respect to getting the answer correct. But I mean, I talk about this to my students and everybody who cares to listen, that when you're solving inside the exam, you need to be in a bubble with the question, and you need to create that bubble with the question. That there should be nothing affecting you, and pressure etc. अगर pressure affecting अगर हटा दोगे, so you have a chance to improve your score by maybe 20-30
How
marks.
exactly to do that? Like, what do you suggest? Like, since it often happens that when we are analyzing mocks or things like that, we can many of us we can solve the sums, but in case of while giving the mock, we couldn't actually solve
Yeah.
because of the time pressure or because of
You know, I was reading the story today. Somebody forwarded one of my IIM batchmates forwarded it in our IIM Bangalore group. I'm from the 95 batch of IIM Bangalore. So it's called a concept called it's a Navy exercise. When people join the U.S. Navy, they are put through an exercise called drown proofing.
Okay.
Now, what is drown proofing? Drown proofing is a process where your hands are tied behind your back, and you're thrown into a body of water which is around 10 feet deep, 9-10 feet deep, and you have to survive in that water for 5 minutes, right? And your hands are tied. So what people do when they throw them in, I mean, of course there are safeguards etc. But a lot of people do fall unconscious during that time. It's a navy, and it's a tough experiment that they do. And a small minority of the people are able to actually achieve the outcome, that they are able to survive in the water for 5 minutes. And and majority of the people, they are not able to survive the outcome because या तो बेहोश हो जाते हैं. There are some deaths also that happen in this exercise. So drown proofing का जो the philosophy of how do you pass this test is that when you're thrown in the water, you don't struggle. If you struggle, you'll keep gasping because the hands are tied behind your back. You can't do anything.
Right.
So what the process is that when you're thrown in with your back inside the water, you should allow yourself to go all the way down into the water, and when you hit the bottom, you use the bottom to push yourself up, and the water will automatically push you up to the top. You come out, take a breath of air, and then go back in. Don't struggle. So the idea is that if you try to मतलब if you try to apply a logic which where you're trying to say कि okay मैं और score करूँगा exam में, and you're trying to struggle with the scoring this thing, you have to let go actually. The more you fight the inside the paper, the more you fight to get more score, the lesser your score will improve. So what you need to do is you need to have a dissociation with the result and the outcome when you're taking that exam, and you have to trust your instincts, right? So improve. I mean, I have seen this. I've taken the CAT 20 times. You must know, but you must be knowing about that. Every time, every time 20 times is huge in terms of number of hours I've spent in the exam. It's around 40-50 hours of experience of taking the exam actually. And every time I've found that I have tried to set targets for myself कि अगले 5 मिनट में 3 क्वेश्चन करना है. It doesn't work. But every time I get rid of that targets in the head and allow myself to react and allow my instincts to take over, those times go really well for me. So अगर तुम थोड़ा सा अपने रिजल्ट एसोसिएशन को तोड़ दोगे, don't I mean, ठीक है, while preparing you need to be very very focused कि मेरा result आना चाहिए and all those things. But during the test, get rid of that expectation कि मेरे को इतना score करना है. Get that and just keep reacting to it. It's like a one. It's when you go into a match to play a innings, the batsman does not if you try to premeditate कि इस ball को मैं छक्का मार ही दूंगा,
Right.
so you will always make mistakes.
Right.
But you have trained yourself to hit sixes. So what you do is you stay in that position and you allow your instincts to take over when the ball is thrown at you. And some percentage of that you will already hit for sixes if you're well trained. So that's how it is, and if you can start applying that, you will start making a major difference to your scores. I hope. I mean that's what you should try to do.
Okay.
Right? So.
Right, Dr.
So I think this was quite enjoyable for me also to interact with you from
There's a
Jadavpur
bit of
University.
pressure, that's why I missed the last episode.
Yeah, that's what I said. You missed that last one
Yes, sir.
because I was also pushing you, na, कि 2.5 minute हो गया, etc.
Yes, sir. And it was a pressure with, like I've not done such video calling sessions before, so it was.
Yeah, I think this is the first time we are doing this experiment.
Yeah,
It's good done on Unacademy. And nice meeting you. All the best for CAT.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much.
And
Thank you.
do well. And just remember that. वो drawn
sir.
proofing का concept याद रखना. Allow yourself to bottom out. Allow yourself to fall in. Get immersed in the paper. Don't bother about the outcomes. Just keep allow your instincts to take over.
Okay.
ठीक है. चलो.
Yes.
Thanks a lot.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Let me just